Paul and Diane were dedicated professionals.
I'm a biochemist.
I'm a comparative psychobiologist.
Why?
Who had everything in common.
Hello. You have 0 messages. You have 0 messages.
They were able to communicate with all species.
This is bad. Bad. Bad.
Except one, their own.
I'll go home with you tonight if you can answer one question correctly.
Okay.
Who designed this top?
I wouldn't know.
Why now?
Until one day, they found the solution to their problem.
It's a salt.
It affects the vocal cords directly.
It's Romeo. He's trying to break through the wall.
Now, in the name of science, Paul and Diane are about to begin an experiment. All they have to do is speak.
So, you like those radios?
Simply irresistible.
It doesn't matter what they say.
Excuse me.
You are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my life.
Simply irresistible.
They just have to speak.
So, how do you like those pretzels?
Oh, baby.
You have 67 messages.
Simply irresistible.
Okay, I'll go home with you, and I'll be everything you've ever wanted if you can answer one question correctly.
What?
How do you synthesize a methylated alkaloid?
I don't know.
Bye now.
Love potion number 9.
Yes. Simply irresistible.
Why the long face, Horace?
I'm just having a little girl trouble.
Big pressing charges? I get that a lot.
Holden McNeil was set in his ways. The way he worked. The way he lived. And the way he thought love should be. But then, she showed up.
Let me guess. You like her.
This girl loves me.
There's something you should know.
She got a boyfriend.
Well, no.
Then what's to know, my friend?
And this girl's got a secret that's going to drive him crazy.
I like you, Holden. I'd really like us to be friends.
What'd I tell you? She just needs the right guy.
What's up?
If you come pick me up, I'll be your best friend.
Now, the only thing standing in Holden's way is the truth.
I can't take this.
Can't take what?
I love you. Not in a friendly way.
How was your pseudo date?
Okay, I'm telling you, she's never even been with a guy.
You're dating a guy?
So what if it is true?
You know you have no shot at getting her into bed.
I take it that's not good.
Miramax Films presents a comedy that tells it like it feels.
She's been around and seen things we've only read about in books.
So what'd you do last night?
Got lucky.
Chasing Amy.
When people told themselves their past with stories, explained their present with stories, foretold the future with stories, the best place by the fire was kept for the storyteller. Story. Imagine a cold night and a dark night. A night like this one. And imagine a bed with a farmer and his wife fast asleep, snuggling up for warmth. And in this bed, the farmer, shivering, reaches out for his wife But instead of a head, he finds a foot, because his missus is rubbing noses with their dog, who sleeps every night at the end of the bed.
What kind of dog?
I don't know. A dog. Some kind of dog.
Some kind of dog? Terrific story. Should I bark?
Oh, no!
Just for tonight.
Don't be dense, woman.
One night won't hurt. It might work.
Sleeping upside down? What good's that gonna do?
Midwife said it sometimes helps.
You're not gonna get a child. If you want company, get a widow woman up from the village. Now come up this end. I'm proper frozen.
But the farmer's wife didn't want no widow for company. She wanted a baby. And she'd wanted this child for what seemed a lifetime until she couldn't bear to watch the lambs born, or the calves come, or the eggs hatch. It hurt her so. And she drove the farmer mad with her cranky books and her cranky charms and remedies.
This stings!
That's good.
It's good?
I'm making you a nice tonic and all, to be drunk night and morning. I want a child. I wouldn't care if it were a strange thing made of marzipan or porridge, if it were ugly as a hedgehog. I want a baby to wrap in a bundle and sing to and snoodle with and hug to bits.
Now, to say you wouldn't care when you want something is a dangerous thing. That woman wanted a baby so bad she couldn't care what she got. If she got a hedgehog, she'd bring its snout to her breast. Ears twitch that shouldn't be listening. And no sooner said than done. She got her wish, the farmer's wife. She's all swollen stomach and thinks it's the baths he took or the sleeping upside down. But in fact, of course, it's the saying you wouldn't care what you got what gets you jiggered, as everyone knows what heard a proper story. She has her boy, and straight away there he is, little ball, as ugly as sin, with a pointed nose and sprouting hair everywhere.
Hedgehogs do not have hair. They have quills.
But this hedgehog baby had quills as soft as feathers, and his mother held him to her breast and wrapped him in a bundle and snoodled him and hugged him to bits. And she gave him the name Hans. Hans, my hedgehog, she called him. Oh yes, the mother loved her baby all right, but not everybody did.
It's a hedgehog! What a laughing stock.
Get out of here, man! Yes! Bring the freezing here. I don't want you in here now.
We're going home.
What about our chores?
That's the end of parading ourselves in public.
Don't cry, my sweet.
You don't even cry like a proper baby. Can't you shut that squealing? Ow!
And the farmer grew to hate his son, Hans the hedgehog boy. Out in the field, he chopped and scythed and bundled and milked, but all the while, the shame of what had befallen him turned a knot in his heart. One moment, the rage welling up in him, the next tears, huge tears splashing his boots. And time passed by, day following day, week chasing week, and the hedgehog boy grew up.
Hey, Beastie! You, Critter Chop! Oi, Critter back! Hogheads! Gravel Hog! Gravel Hog!
Hans, my hedgehog, learned he was strange, and he learned he was ugly, and he learned to be sad, and he learned the name that was given him.
Gravel Hog!
That's enough! Out! Out!
Listen.
From now on, I'll eat out there with the other beasts!
Hans! Hans!
come home?
Hans heard them, but he wouldn't answer. He lay there all night, his rooster for company, and thought until he thought a hole in the ground. And his mother couldn't sleep, and his father wandered the dark hours, a great needle in his heart. In the morning, weary, the farmer returned. By the step, asleep, was his son, the grovel hog.
I've trudged all night for you. You'll not eat for a week off my food.
Father, I want you to do some things for me.
You what?
I want you to go to the village and have me a saddle made for my rooster so I can ride him. And I want some of your sheep and some hens and some pigs.
Oh, do you now, fancy fine?
I know which ones I'd like, and they will be happy to come with me.
Come with you? Come with you where?
Where I go, which is away, which is to somewhere where I can't hurt anyone and no one can hurt me.
And when are you planning this gad to away and somewhere?
When I have the saddle.
You can't go nowhere! What'd your mother say? Or who dotes on you?
Father, all night I lay outdoor to understand why you don't love me. And I've thought until I've thought a hole in the grass. And now it's all right. When I have the saddle, I'll go.
And the farmer felt ashamed, and he brought home a saddle for the rooster, and he herded up the animals his son had asked for, and he told his wife pack a packed lunch, and all the while the grovel hog sat on the stoop and waited. And when all was done, he went to his mother and she kissed him, and then to his dad and hugged him. And the farmer knew for the first time how soft he was. They watched him until he was a faint smudge in the distance, and his mother felt a crack in her heart like a tiny pencil line. And each day after the pencil line got thicker and thicker, and one day not long after, her heart split in half, and she died. 20 years later, a king got lost in a great forest. And after he got lost, he got more lost, until he was so lost he began to tug his ear, which is a sure sign of big trouble, when he heard a sound, which was a bitter sound and a sweet sound all at once, which began like hello and ended like goodbye. And tugging his ear like Billy-O, he followed the sound until he came to a clearing. And the palace the king saw before him was the most extraordinary palace in your whole boar.
I'm very lost, and I'm very hungry. And somewhere back there, a long time ago, I was a king.
But now so lost and so hungry, you wouldn't knock at the beast's house.
Oh, well...
You are welcome in my house, sir, and at my table.
And the king sat at the grovel hog's table and ate of the greenest greens and the sweetest sweets and the juiciest juices.
Oh, how very, very kind.
After, his host took up the bagpipes and played old songs which were bitter and sweet all at once and began like hello and ended like goodbye. And before he could think, I'm full now and found, the king was asleep. Well, this king woke up the next morning after a night of the kind of dreams you only dream about. And he opened his eyes and almost yanked off his ear because he found himself under a tree which certainly wasn't where he'd fallen asleep. And more confusing, it was a tree from which he could see the edge of his kingdom. And he began to dance as only kings once lost and then found can dance. A jig, a jiggle joggle, and a leap.
I've heard this story, and you're telling it all wrong. What happens is, the king wants to give the grovel hog a reward for all his help, and so he says, name anything. And the hog says, give me the first thing to greet you when you arrive in your kingdom. And the king agrees, because he knows the first thing to greet him will be his faithful flop-eared Wagger, the royal dog. So the king says yes, and the hog says, I'll collect my reward in a year and a day. And off he goes on his ridiculous rooster. But things don't go as he planned, do they? And it's not poor Wagger who gets there first.
And the king lets go of the Princess of Sweetness and Cherry Pie, and his face clouds over. But then he shrugs and turns back to his daughter and dog and walks away for a year and a day. Here we are, dearie-os, in the king's great hall. And lo and behold, a handsome storyteller has been summoned to court to entertain the royal family. King. Now, of course, the king here has been counting the days off his calendar, and it is a year ago today, you see, since he made his rash promise to the Grovelhog. And tomorrow, you'll remember, is the day when the Grovelhog is due to arrive to collect his reward. Princess? I'm very good at this. Hey?
Get rid of him! Fool, idiot! Throw him in the dungeon! Feed him inch by inch to my royal sharks! What they won't eat, give to his dog!
No! Help! No! Put me down! Put me down!
Your Majesty, a huge army appears at the gates.
Oh, does it?
Not men, but animals, sire.
Told you.
Sire?
I heard you! Let them in!
Give a fella some space, I want to hear this.
Do you remember me?
I do.
A year and a day have passed since last we met. Will you keep your promise to me?
I will!
He will?
Do you know of me, lady?
I do, sir. You saved my father, and he owes you his life.
Do you know of his promise to me?
He promised you the first thing to greet him on his return.
And what was that?
Me, sir. I am yours.
Then I want you to be my wife and come live with me in the forest. I want you to be my Princess of Sweetness and Cherry Pie. I want to catch you up and sing to you. I want you to love me.
Yes, sir.
Do you find me very ugly?
No, sir. Not so ugly as going back on a promise.
Come on, shift yourselves. There's a royal wedding. You're all to be pardoned. I don't know why, I'm sure. Well, come on. And I don't know about wedding. Up there, it's more like a funeral.
Good. A wedding. I might even be asked to tell a story or two. Who knows? It's on days like these that artists come into their own.
We are gathered here today.
The most unhappy wedding party you ever saw. And that night, in her bedchamber, it was a terrified princess who lay waiting for her new husband to join her. Lying there, half sweetness, half cherry pie, the princess could hardly credit what she'd seen. But creeping to the window, she looked down, and there, sure enough, a man moving among the animals in the quiet rain. And she found herself going to the abandoned coat of hair and quills, and touching it. soft and warm and remarkable. And the first rays of morning woke her from dreams of waterfalls and ice cream. And there she was in her bed, and by the embers the grovel hog back again, beast again. And so had she dreamed all this peeling off of skin? Surely she must have. But that night, the same scene, her husband standing over her as she pretended to sleep. The tender touch on her arm, not prickly, but so smooth she felt an ache when he left her. And she found herself going to the skin and lying against it, and how comfortable she found it. And she felt drowsy, lying there by the fire, so peaceful. She felt herself drifting off, and knew she mustn't, but really couldn't help herself.
Sir, I woke and you had gone, and left behind you your coat of quills.
Which would you have for husband? The man or the creature?
I have a husband, sir, and he is what he is. No more and no less.
Then forgive him, madam, if he returns to his skin. For I am enchanted and cannot leave it. But if you say nothing of this for a third night, then loyal love will break the spell forever.
I promise.
But we all know about promises, don't we? And secrets. What use are they when no one knows about them? When they twist and turn and tickle in our stomachs, when they're tickly little fish wriggling into our conversations. Now, you see, the princess had a mother, and mothers have this way of catching secret fish and promise fish. They eye us with wise eyes, and all our rivers are glass to them. Just so with the queen, who that morning at breakfast sees a daughter skip to the table. Eat, when for days no appetite.
Hungry?
Laugh,
Yes.
when for days no laughter.
Sleep well?
Yes, thank you.
Not troubled by the creature?
No, Mother. And please don't speak of him as a creature.
Listen, daughter. Last night, your father and I went to a wise woman and told of your tragedy. And she knows of these creatures, these grovel hogs, and knows the remedy. He is enchanted, you see.
I know.
Oh?
I mean, I knew that he must be, something like that. Yes, I see. He's enchanted.
He's told you, hasn't he?
No, really, he hasn't. I just knew he must be.
And, does he take off his skin?
No, he doesn't.
The only way to break the spell is to throw the skin into the fire. Cast the skin into the flames and he will be free of it.
That's not the way.
So, he has told you.
That night, the third, when everything happens as before, the princess is haunted by her mother's advice. And oh dear, oh dear. And there she sat, the princess of sweetness and cherry pie, weeping into the fire, and she would let no one see her, not even me, and I was her favorite. No, she thought and thought until she thought a hole in the hearth, until she knew what she must do. She went to the blacksmith and got from him a pair of iron shoes, and that night, when all slept, she slipped out of the palace and set off to wander the world in search of her husband. She walked and walked until she wore out the first pair of shoes, and still no one had set eyes on the grovel hog. And she got a second pair of shoes and began again, never stopping, always hoping. And the second pair of shoes wore out, and still she walked, always looking, always hoping to hear a music both bitter and sweet, beginning in hello and ending in goodbye, but nothing. Till one day, weary and wretched, she came to a stream and lay down by it, and saw in the water's mirror her hair was now quite white, and she sorrowed for her red hair and her husband, both lost forever.
To the health of that most beautiful woman who could not keep her promise for one more day.
Husband.
How did you find me?
I have walked the world to find you, and have worn out the soles of 3 pairs of iron shoes. My hair is no longer red. But I come to claim you, and catch you up, and snoodle you and hug you to bits.
And so the princess who could not keep her promise won back her husband through looking without hope of finding and holding on for dear life. And in time her hair grew red again, and there was another wedding all over. And we were both invited. And I told the best story there is to tell, a story which begins in hello and ends in goodbye. And for a gift, she gave me a shoe worn to nothing. Here it is.
Michael and Julianne have been best friends for years.
The one constant thing in my life is that he'll always be there.
But they were never more than that.
Call me, 4 in the morning, whatever, we gotta talk.
Until he popped the question.
I called because I met someone.
To someone else.
Well,
We're getting married.
he was in love with me every day for 9 years. Me?
I can see why.
Look, she has known him for what, like 5 seconds? I can't lose him, George. I'm a busy girl. I've got 4 days to break up a wedding and steal the bride's feather. Oh!
See the girl with the diamond ring? She knows how to...
You know, I've never had a sister. All I've heard is Julianne this and Julianne that.
Michael and I were a wrong fit right from the start.
He said that too.
George, she's toast.
The only fear she really has is you.
So this means that I have 4 days to make you my new best friend and be my maid of honor? What?
Why not? You're practically the best man anyway.
I just asked myself, what would Lucy Ricardo do in this situation?
Who's that guy?
I told him, George, if we're engaged, why be ashamed of it, right? Is something wrong?
It's just a big surprise.
We thought you were a lesbian.
We have to talk about George.
You were jealous?
Crazy jealous.
Personally, I think Mr. Michael's marrying the wrong girl.
Just tell him you love him.
I realize this comes at a very inopportune time. Marry me.
The moment I wake up, before you put on your makeup.
TriStar Pictures presents
I'm the bad guy.
a story about finding the love of your life.
Do you really love him?
And deciding
Was this just about winning?
What to do about it.
I trusted you. Just tell me why.
Why did you trust me?
No, why did you pretend to be my friend?
Julia Roberts. Oh, Dermot Mulroney and Cameron Diaz.
Michael!
Lovely together.
My Best Friend's Wedding.
Michael!
That's our maid of honor. She's from New York.
Oh.
Daniel McCormick loved living on the edge.
If she comes with a warranty, I'll take her.
He wasn't afraid to face anything.
Helen, will you marry me?
Except the woman he loved.
I couldn't get the words past my throat.
But when he thought fate had taken her away...
Harry, I can't watch Helen die. I want to sleep for a year.
He took the chance of a lifetime.
Free's a human being.
He never imagined where it would take him.
It's cold. Do you think he's dead?
So what you're telling me is that he was lost, misplaced for 50 years.
Mom, I'm not making this up.
So you fellas do this a lot? Mess with classified military experiments?
No, sir. This is the first time. It's called television.
What the heck happened to the last 50 years?
The FBI is on their way. Something's going on here.
I know.
Helen was in an accident, but she's alive.
Mel Gibson.
It's a matter of life and death.
Forever young.
Get him! Don't just stand there! Get him! Get him!
Run, Jack, run!
Pietro! That's the man! Get him!
Gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
I'm sure we can sort this out amicably.
I'm sure we can sort this out amicably.
Look at it this way.
Look at it this way. If you could do what I could do, then you would do it too.
But you can't.
But you can't. I can, and I have, and I'll do it again. So you should be happy for me just a little tiny bit, don't you think? And you, sir, just consider, you love your wife. I love your wife. Aren't we both on the same side? If you think about it, what was it?
I'm hungry. Maria!
Rule of thumb. Keep your flour box and your spice box separate. Don't go putting them together, because the spice migrates. You'll end up with bread that tastes of something foreign, and I'm not having that.
Excuse me. I've had no food. It's gone past 20 o'clock and no one's delivered my meal.
What's that, sir? You've had nothing, sir. Oh, I can't apologise enough, sir. We've got pigeon and beef, and I can top it off with this, sir. Lovely bit of crayfish sauce. Have some bloody sauce. It's do this and do that. Get your own bloody food. You want seconds?
Your master shall hear of this.
You'll have to shout he's in Madrid. And he's your master, don't forget, so don't get clever. You know better than me. Now then, spice boxes, that's right. Oh, and the same with the salt box. Keep it separate.
So, does that man work here?
Of course he does. He's the librarian. Oh, he might dress like a lord, but he's only a servant, same as you and me.
What's his name?
Giacomo Casanova.
Really? Any relation?
Who to?
The Casanova.
Whoever he is, how should I know?
There was a man with that name years ago in Venice.
Do you want this job or not? Now stop the chat and do some work. Scrub that table down.
Have some bloody sauce.
I suppose you've pissed in the wine?
I'll have it if you don't want it.
Oh, another servant with attitude.
You're a servant yourself, sir.
Then why are you calling me sir?
Because that might be correct for a man with your name.
And you are?
Edith, sir, started today.
Off you go. Edith.
My father was burgomaster of St. Valencia. When I was young, he'd read to us stories of lords and ladies, and of one man in particular, the adventures of Giacomo Casanova. Is that you?
What's a burgomaster's daughter doing working in the kitchen?
He died last year, sir. And there's not much provision for widows. And he had his debts.
Gambling?
Yes, sir.
Good man!
Now that sounds like Casanova. Is it true, sir, all those stories about the old days?
Here they are. My life. The truth of it.
They say you met the Pope.
2 popes. And royalty. Louis XV, King George II, Catherine the Great. Glorious times.
My father used to warn us about Venice. He made it sound like the most outrageous
You want
place.
sex? If my reputation lives on, then that's what you've come for. Fine. If you want initiation, let's get on with it.
Well, it's true then. Because that's all your reputation is, sir. Filth.
Since when was it filth to love a woman?
No, sir, not love. But sex, that's a different thing.
Oh, you'd know, would you?
I don't, not until my wedding day. That's typical of nobility. Playing games with the servants.
Is that what I am? Nobility.
Of course you are, sir. Giacomo Casanova, the Chevalier de Saint-Galt.
That's not what it says here.
Well, then tell me.
I've sworn myself to silence.
All right, then let me guess. If you weren't born rich, it was all poverty, living in the gutter, begging for scraps.
Oh, it was worse than that. I was born the son of an actress.
Who's in tonight?
is in again, Mum. It's 3 times as sweet.
What's the boy doing here?
I don't know, he just turned up.
Giacomo, go home. You're supposed to be with your father.
What's wrong with you?
He never says a word. He's an idiot. He was born an idiot.
Takes after his father, then.
It's no good staring. I can't take you with me. I told you, I found you a school in Padua with Dr. Gozzi. He can look after you. I've simply got to go right now, do you understand? I've got no choice. Since your father died, I've got to earn a living. And the Russian court has paid for me to perform. I can't take you with me. It's a court. A proper court. A royal court. I can't walk in there with a child. Are you ever going to stop staring? Do you understand any of this? That's my job. I'm paid to go wherever I'm told, and St. Petersburg is paying for me. They bought me. It's not my fault. Stop staring at me. Ugh, and now he's bleeding again. Look at what I'm wearing. How can I kiss him goodbye when he's covered in... Aren't you going to say anything? It's not my fault.
He's bleeding again. Santini, give him a cloth or something.
He's a freak, sir.
Indeed. Now give the freak a cloth. Come on. Sed circumciliens modo huc modo illac solam dominamusque pipillabat. Imperfect of pipillo. Casanova. Conjugate. Anything? Anything? Can the homunculus speak? Is there nothing inside that head apart from blood?
Are you the idiot? Come on, you can talk to me. Look at you. All nosebleeds. No wonder they pick on you. That's better. There. Your feet's dirty and all. Gotcha. I bet you're dirty all over. Do you want me to keep going? All right, then. That's your knees. How about your thigh? What do you think? Yeah? How about I go all the way up?
Yes! Pibbler back, pibbler bass, pibbler back. Yes! Never mind that. Here's a poem of my own. Yes!
Is it all going to be like this?
Like what?
Pornography.
No. Pornography is over there, second shelf on the left. If you know my reputation, then you must have expected this.
You don't have to go into detail. I'd appreciate it if you kept it clean.
That leaves about 3 pages. Anyway, I'd come alive. I was a scholar. Then, 15, I became a priest. 16, I was thrown out of the seminary. I left Padua in disgrace. Then came Venice. Finally, In the year of our Lord, 1746, I returned to the city a man, soon to become a legend. Dressed in Florentine lace and Chinese silk, versed in Latin and Greek, French and Spanish and philosophy and science and theology and music. A head full of facts and breeches full of fire and a heart already in love. In love with that city, the Republic of Venice. A city under quarantine, trapping us inside, leaving us to boil and see and mate. But my wallet's empty. My silk and gold and lace all borrowed or stolen or fake. No qualifications, no contacts, no breeding. Only my wits to survive in a city that devours the weak.
Hello. Goodbye. Hello, yes, hello. Maybe later. Oh, yes. Oh, laugh. Wonderful. That's from China. How's the leg? Good. I'm fine, yes, I'm fine. Super. Marvellous. Just dandy. Thanks for asking.
And I said to Cardinal Acquaviva, how can the Church maintain its authority when the language itself is beyond reason? For example, in the Latin, can anyone explain to me why the word for vagina is masculine and the word for penis feminine? He had no answer.
Well, I suppose you could say it's because the slave always takes his name from the master.
Yes. And besides, I said, Cardinal, how can you extol the virtues of language when you've banned the poet Ariosto from the Index? I mean, what sort of...
Well, no. Actually, they haven't.
I think you'll find they have.
Well, I think you'll find they haven't. Honestly, sorry. The Pope has expressly said that's not the case.
I really don't think so. How can the Pope accept a poem which denies the final resurrection?
Yes, except it doesn't, if you actually read it. It only says perhaps, which in context is just a rhetorical ornament and therefore invalid.
Who the hell are you?
Right, yes, hello. Giacomo Casanova. Nice to meet you. Hello.
Giacomo Casanova of?
Of the Casanova family, obviously.
And that would be Mr. and Mrs. Casanova and all the little Casanovas.
That's me, yes. Nice to meet you. I've said that, haven't I? Still true.
It's very good to meet a man of learning, Giacomo. And you, more than anyone, will appreciate the delicacy of the precise Latin manus the hand, pugnus the fist, and percutio, to punch. Nice indeed to meet you, peasant. Now, fetch me some wine. Where was I? As I said, the man was utterly dumbfounded.
Enjoy the show.
Loved it.
Glad to be of service.
That's a well-cut jacket. And Chinese silk. You've got everything just right. But it's a lie, isn't it?
All right, I give up. I'm just pretending.
But when you looked at me, that was real. So you lie to the men, but not the women.
The men don't matter.
If you're going to pretend in this city, then you only have to remember one thing. They're all pretending. Highborn, lowborn, people in between. Everyone's wishing they were someone else. All you have to do is lie with conviction. Stand tall. No creases. Chin up. Act better, and you'll become better. There. Quite the gentleman.
Quite the lady.
Quite bored of this. Goodbye.
But I don't even know your name.
Now, don't follow. For God's sake, don't follow. There's nothing weaker than following. Now stand your ground. Chin up. Act. That's it. Oh, one more thing. Chin up, stand tall, and trust no one.
That's my purse!
Yep!
That's Henriette.
Oh, yes.
They say she was beautiful.
You'll never know. Everyone in these pages is dead. I'm the only one left. So, I had an act to maintain. And the first thing a gentleman needs is an address.
That smells the tannery. God help you in summer. If there's one good thing, the rats can't climb this high, but the water can. That roof hasn't got long.
You're not exactly selling it.
Middle of the city. They're fighting over this place.
How much?
10 zucchini a week.
I'll give you 25.
Run that past me again?
If anyone asks who lives here, you can say a gentleman. And if they ask how much he's paying, you can say 25 zucchini and let them marvel. Done?
For that price, I'll throw in a room for your valet. I take it you've got a manservant.
Good idea.
You're supposed to be running my household, not ratting my wife! Rocco, come back here! Stop that man! I want him flogged!
So, you'll be needing a job then.
There's not much of an address.
It's Catragatti Street.
It's the back of Catragatti Street, on the corner, 5 floors up. How do I know I can trust you for a wage? What sort of gentleman are you?
And what sort of gentleman's gentleman are you? You can cast out on my residence, but not my honour. How dare you?
What exactly do you do?
You tell me, Rocco. What do I look like?
Fancy clothes, smart mouth, I don't know, a lawyer?
Yeah, that's it. I'm a lawyer. Someone said you need a lawyer.
My family owns a plot of land on the Alto Adige, but the secular committee claims that it comes under their jurisprudence. I need an expert in property law.
What a coincidence. That's me.
Property laws pertaining to the Northern States, 1655, 1701, 1727. You'll never read all this, look.
But that's the point. No one could. No one ever has. All those lawyers out there, they're just pretending. I can do that.
The court finds for the defendant.
Thank you, my boy. Thank you. A victory for the people.
Bloody hell. Someone said you need a doctor.
It's this bloody foot. I've a gathering of vile humours in the joints of my toe. I need an expert physician.
What a coincidence. That's me. Apply to the joints a poultice of saltpetre, the milk of a she-ass, and what does that say? Raspberry. Raspberry. Got any raspberry?
It's December.
Raspberry. Red wine. Same thing.
Oh, more than a doctor, sir. You're a miracle worker. Behold!
Someone said you need an astronomer.
Oh, astrologer.
Astrologer. What a coincidence.
It's all bollocks, that stuff.
But since you were born under the sign of the ram, with your tangent in the ascendant, I knew you were going to say that.
Very funny.
And that.
You can't
and
just...
that.
Don't
and,
you... It's not...
and,
I'm good.
And,
if you...
You told me a lion would rise in the winter solstice and capture my heart. And here he is, my wild beast. You're a genius, sir.
This is beginning to scare me.
virtuoso?
Oh, well, this old thing, I only just picked it up. How does it work? I'd pay for lessons, but someone stole my money.
It's a terrible world.
And who are you stealing from tonight?
Don't know what you mean?
Tell me, though, if you're busy pretending like everyone else, why not pretend to me? Why tell me the truth?
I don't know. I just did.
It's an honor.
Well, then. Just don't go thinking you're special. You've taken my advice to heart, then. I've heard so many stories about you, and not always as a joke. Senor Casanova, lying his way to the top.
Not my fault if I was born clever. Show me a book, a map, a language, a libretto. I won't just learn it, I'll use it.
The man of parts.
Many parts.
Is that how you win over the ladies? Cheap innuendo?
No, you just make all my best lines rubbish.
You will keep straying from my side. Oh, it's that man again.
Are you following me? People will talk.
This is the Senor Casanova everyone's talking about.
You have the look of a manual worker about you, Casanova. What's your profession?
I'm a spy.
How do you mean a spy?
A spy. I spy. That's me, the spy. Of course, being a spy, I really shouldn't say I'm a spy, or it's spy by a spy.
I suppose you can prove it.
What, you want to spy on something? Look, there's a canal. I spied it. Look, still there. Ooh, and again.
I take it you're laughing at him.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, but I haven't actually been introduced to the lady.
Henriette. Henriette Marianne d'Albertas, my fiancée. Now, my father's looking for us. He's got this obsession with the Siamese ambassador.
Engaged? Then that man, he was Grimani. Is that right? The Duke of Grimani? He was in the stories. My father used to talk about him. Didn't you fight Grimani? All because of Henriette?
Oh, there are plenty of other women.
I thought there might be.
Angela. Let me tell you about Angela and how I learned the secret. Angela Torsello, daughter of a priest. I courted her like a fool, going to our house every day and dancing attendance. She wouldn't even be alone in my company, chaperoned at all times by her two sisters, Nanette and Marta, a fearsome trinity. I wasted my heart and my time. No amount of learning or wit or passion could get me past the divine Angela's defenses. So I slept with both her sisters instead, and a fine time was had by all.
Hold on. What do you mean you slept with both of them?
I did, but you want me to keep it clean. So, moving on.
But how? Let me see that. How did you get two sisters into bed? I mean, I've got a sister, and we're close, but the thought of me and her together, it's just...
If you really want to know how I did it.
If I must?
The Holy Office has been investigating the water table. It's fascinating stuff. They say in 300 years the canals will have dried up and Venice will be connected to the mainland. Isn't that amazing?
For whom?
For those who are easily amazed, I suppose. Have you been to the opera? I've been translating the lyrics of Zoroaster, and it's turned out to be quite a success.
I find all forms of theatre vulgar.
Yes, absolutely. Good point. Even puppet shows? Anyway, have you heard the Elector of Saxony has bought the Duke of Medina's entire collection? I don't suppose you're interested in art.
No.
Quite right, too. I've met the Pope.
I take it you'll be joining us tomorrow?
Oh, what's the point? I just sit there and turn into an idiot. Puppets. I said puppets.
Perhaps it's time you gave up.
But I can't. Your sisters just... Oh, my lord, she's beautiful. She is. She's taken over my head and my blood and my guts. I can't stop thinking about her. I spent half of last night... Well, never mind what I did for half of last night, but it's just... Oh, I'm sorry.
You could find someone else.
But someone else wouldn't be her. Sorry, I'll come back tomorrow. Don't listen to me, sorry. I better go.
The sisters Tosello.
Is there something wrong? Is it Angela?
Yeah. We brought provisions. A tongue, Parmesan cheese, some bread. I take it you've got wine.
He can go.
Rocco, thank you.
Very good, sir. If you need me, just call.
This is very kind, thank you. But what's it for?
We're bound to work up an appetite. We like what you said as you were leaving.
Not when you were talking to our sister.
That was the nonsense all men come out with. They all sit down and boast about money and position and title. Why should we care?
But after that, you were upset.
You were honest. You felt something, and you said it out loud. No man ever does that.
Well, that's good, right, yes. Thank you. Good advice, yes. So, that's how I should talk to Angela.
Angela's not here.
But I can only think of her.
Oh, not completely honest then.
Oh, my lord, forgive me. That's just an animal reaction, I swear.
No, that's honest.
But it's a matter of honor. I've pledged myself to your sister.
We all sleep in the same bed.
You sure you don't need me, sir?
Out. Sorry, where were we?
All three sisters in a soft, huge bed.
And sometimes, Angela's so grateful. She covers us in kisses.
Can you imagine that? Yeah.
Not so fast! Not so fast! We've got hours to go!
Speak for yourself!
If all I have to do is say what I feel, then I feel fantastic.
It's not all about you.
No, I mean, I hope you feel the same. Sounded like it.
What do you even know about me?
I know your father is the priest of Saint Samuel. His parish runs along the Monash Canal. And he published Pandectes in the French.
That's my father. What about me?
Ah, you are the eldest of the three. You're a patron of Saint Francisco. You embroider.
Those are just the facts. Anyone could know that. Now you sound like all the others. Men talk and we listen. But no one listens to us. I want to leave this city. I want to go to London, Paris, and all those places I'll never go. I want to draw, paint. My head's full of pictures. I can't get them out. I wonder what God thinks of my sisters and me. I wonder if we're damned.
I don't think so.
You don't have to be kind. Just listen.
And I listened all night and every night with every woman.
And that was enough?
I know your father was a burgomaster. I think your mother is still alive and at least one sister in the village of St. Valencia. You've been in this castle just one day. Does anyone else know that much about you?
Ah, but those are just the facts.
I know you loved your father. And forgive him. I know you're clever, because you didn't bring me any old bottle of wine. I know taking this job is a step down for you, but you don't care if it puts food upon the table, and I know you hope for better things.
We all do that.
I know.
It strikes me, sir. If you understand women so well, it's only because an addict must be an expert in his downfall. How many were there? How many women?
I honestly don't know.
Oh, come on.
Only a bastard keeps count. They're not notches on a bedpost.
Then what's that book for?
It's because I did more than listen and talk. I remembered. If they were just conquests, they'd be forgotten tomorrow. But here they all are. Teresa Emer. Almost my wife. La Cabamachi. Celebrated courtesan. Mimi. The landlord's daughter. The widow Battagia. Vitorina Baldi. On the morning of her wedding. Signora Farsi. Wife of a very understanding man. Teresa Caccioli. A nun. Marina Morosino. Another nun. Marina and Teresa. Who's next? Long time ago. All those women. It's a list of the dead now. Yet I live on. It's a punishment from God. I refuse to believe in an afterlife, so he refuses to let me die.
Excuse me, sir. I think that's blasphemy.
Sex with sisters, and you're chuckling, but don't blaspheme. No, whatever you do, don't do that.
You could respect my faith, that's all I'm asking.
I'd rather challenge it to the bone. Let's see what you make of this. Save your simpering for something worth it. Where is it? Next there came Bellino.
Who is she?
A castrato.
A man?
Bellino's coming! Sweet Bellino! Giacomo, you must see Bellino!
Oh, here we go again, you big kitten. Is this your latest fetish?
Oh, completely. I love him, Casanova. I'm sizzling like a boy on a griddle. This Bellino is a miracle. He's been allowed into the city on special dispensation. You are in for such a treat. Oh, that voice! Set me down, boys, set me down.
Come here then, you great big bauble. Come to mother.
Lovely. Have you met my nephews?
It's a different nephew every week.
I found Carlos working on a barrow. What do you think of that arse?
That is a very good arse.
Oh, here comes Bellino. He's a castrato from Bologna, and gorgeous. Oh, gorgeous!
Excuse me, that's a girl.
Don't you wish?
That's a girl. If I know anything, I know girls, and that's a girl.
You're on the turn. There's hope for you yet. Pretty practice.
Rocco?
Boy.
Girl!
Keep going with this and I'm off.
Have you all gone blind? There's no boy, there's just that girl. There, him, her. A fine performance.
Thank you, sir.
I'm told you're from Bologna.
Just outside, sir.
I thought you reached those notes in the upper fifth with perfect... Oh, go on, you're a girl, aren't you? Go on. You can tell me.
I'll take that as a compliment on my voice, sir.
Oh, but you're a girl.
I was inspected by the bishop.
Yeah, well, Bishop's been celibate for 53 years. He wouldn't know the difference. Go on. I won't tell anyone, just admit it.
Perhaps you find me attractive, sir. And this delusion is the only way you can cope with your tragic inclination.
Well, there you are. Only a girl would say that.
Thank you for your time, sir.
But I do. Find you attractive.
Pervert.
That's a girl.
I dare you.
Success!
They were clapping. They wouldn't stop. Did you hear them? And it's all thanks to you, Giacomo. You paid for the theatre and invited half of Venice. Oh, thank you.
You've got lips like a girl.
You've been so kind to me, sir. You've paid for my rooms and my clothes. I wish I could pay you back. But it's a blasphemy.
Is it? I won't keep persisting, but I swear, if you'd let me, tell me to stop, and I'll stop. But I can't stop hoping. Oh, Lena. The evidence is here. I can see it. I can feel it. That's the breast of a girl.
That's the deformity of all castratos. Something happens to the body. We mimic the flesh.
And what about down there?
Giacomo, even fully clothed, you can see. I may not have everything down there, but I still have most of my sex.
Well, it's just a bulge. Could be a rolled up stocking. I've done it.
Stop it.
Just let me look.
No, it's not padding.
Well, how do I know? You show me yours and I'll show you mine.
No.
Just let me touch it.
No.
Oh.
I told you.
You're a man.
I did tell you. I can't help it. If I could.
If I could. Sorry. I'm sorry.
What do you want?
Just came to say you win. The game's turned sour. The boy's a boy. He always was a boy, and now I've disgraced myself. You all right? Is it Grimani? What's he done?
Nothing.
He must have done something.
I don't need company, thank you.
What's he done? Has he hurt you?
Don't be so simple.
Then what is it?
He's rich. He's given me everything I want. Isn't that wonderful? Look at us, the two great liars.
Yeah.
This is where it's got us. And the castrato's definitely a boy.
Yes.
What do you need me for? Permission?
Yes. Exactly that, yes. What should I do?
One question. Do you love him?
That's ridiculous. Yes.
Then love him. Coward.
I don't care. I love you.
It's a sin.
Then let me sin with you for the rest of my life.
We'll be outcasts.
Together. Please.
Is this what you want?
I want you. Now, mine doesn't do that. You're a girl.
A woman.
Do you know what Casanova means in the original Latin?
No.
It means lucky bastard. God. I fall in love with a boy, but the boy is a girl pretending to be a boy. We are so modern. Why the disguise?
I was penniless.
Well, I've been penniless. I didn't change sex. Well, I was one night, but I was very drunk.
My only option was servitude. And then this young castrato in the village died just before he was due to go into the city, and I took his place, just to escape. The last thing I expected was success. And now I'm trapped.
You could have told me.
I thought you would have had your fun and then moved on to your next conquest.
That's what they say about me, isn't it? It's not true.
I know that now.
But you should be liberated. The whole world should know. With that voice, you could sing just as you are. As a woman, you'd be a sensation.
I'd be a joke. The woman who used to be a man.
Well, talk about publicity. All you need is the contacts. I can get you those. You deserve it. My wife deserves it.
No, don't joke. That's not kind.
I mean it. Marry me.
Really?
What do you think?
I think... yes.
Me too.
What went wrong?
Henriette. Of course. Always Henriette.
Tell me.
It began when I launched the true Bellino into society as my bride-to-be. I spent my every last coin on a summer ball.
Can't. It's those women. They were born for this. I'm still just a performer in costume.
We're better than them.
But we look like copies.
Well, I suppose you should be unique. Maybe a little alteration here and there.
But you paid for this.
And I can improve it.
You can't do that.
I just did.
Well, then.
I preferred you as a boy.
Oh, you're in demand. All over Italy. Rome, Pisa, Naples, they'll want you. The singer who changed sex. It's so very radical. You're famous already.
Ooh, that substitute knob. Do you mind if I have it? Mine fell off years ago.
And the citizens of Bologna want to welcome you home. I've scheduled an appearance for next week.
Can we do that?
Whatever you want.
Beyond that, there's Paris. You don't even need to sing. I think we should hold back on the singing. You just need to appear. Create the enigma of fate.
Oh, I must tell you, I thought of
They want me in Bologna next week, and after that, the Holy City.
Wonderful. I can see my old friend the Pope.
And then Naples, and Paris, and God knows where. You'll have to follow me all over the place.
I don't mind.
You'll have to run here and there and fetch this and that, while I'm the center of attention. You would make the finest husband, Giacomo. But you were never meant to be someone's wife. Who's that woman?
A friend.
When we're in bed, just as we're finishing, you get such a look in your eyes. And when you look at her, you've done so much for me. When did anyone do anything for you?
I've done it all on my own.
We'll see.
We ran out of the wall, but stayed close. So we could linger with the little stolen music and finish the dance.
we should make plans for tomorrow, because your fiancé's not going to be too pleased. We should lie low for a bit. I've got this friend. He's practically second cousin to the illegitimate daughter of the Doge. He can get a special dispensation to leave the city. We can just slip away, over the water, out of the lagoon, and gone.
And then what?
I've got friends in Trentino. Nice little villa. No servants. We can hide. Just you and me.
And then what?
Well, like I said, we'll wait a couple of months and then we come back.
And then what?
Well, then we can start a proper life together.
And then what?
What do you mean, and then what? And then do whatever we want.
And then what?
I don't know.
Exactly. You're making it up as you go along.
I've always done that, and I've always survived. And so have you.
Romani knows what he's doing every day for the rest of his life. His family's been here for centuries, never changing.
But you've left him.
I'm not with him right now. Doesn't mean I've left him.
And what are you doing with me?
Just one dance.
I love you.
For God's sake.
I do.
What's the point of saying that? To get me into bed?
Marry me.
Stop it.
Henriette, will you marry me?
How much money have you got?
Enough.
Do you know where the next purse is coming from?
Is it all about money?
Yes, it is. Of course it is. Everything is.
Then I'll get money. You've seen me. I'm a born alchemist. I can magic gold out of thin air.
And lose it again. Come on. Come with me.
Where are we going?
I'm taking you home. I was born here, and I will never come back.
I was born with hardly a thing.
As bad as this? Your money comes and goes on a whim. Romani's money is forever. My children will grow up protected.
But you won't be happy.
Idiots are happy. I'll be safe.
I could never live like that.
No. I don't think you could. Which only proves that you deserve better than me. We should go before the smell contaminates us.
You're with the wrong man.
I know.
You haven't said. Do you love me?
Yes. Yes. Completely. But I need him.
Thank you for tonight.
Thank you for the dance.
She went back to him. I'd never do that.
Oh, says the kitchen girl, lapping up stories of the rich folk. Don't you want better?
But she loved you.
But she was right. Look at me. An old librarian in a cold castle. Henriette saw this waiting for me.
Did you see her again? You must have, did you?
I did.
But how?
It seems important to you that this story has a happy ending.
You can't blame me for that.
No, indeed. Girls your age with no experience like to imagine it all ends well. Is that right, though? No experience at all?
I've told you. I'm as God intended until my wedding night.
But you must have practiced. Everyone practices. Who was it? That boy you grew up with? Did you fight with him one day for just a little too long? Or perhaps that friend of your father's? The way he looked at you, and you liked it.
I can't think why it's important.
Is that where I am? Practice.
If you want me to go, sir.
No. Sit down. I had to endure it. Grimani and Henriette. At every turn, there they were, blessed and celebrated by society. The date of their wedding was set for that winter. And all I could do was watch.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned again. I don't know where to start. It's money, Father. Love of money is a sin, isn't it?
A grave sin?
I mean, I don't love it as such, but I need it. Is that a sin?
In too great a measure, then yes.
It's not for me. You see, there's this woman, and I suppose you can include lustful thoughts while you're at it. There's this woman, but she's engaged, and all this went on behind her fiancé's back. Not literally, although I have actually done that. But anyway, first of all, I was with another woman, and I slept with her, sorry. Well, I slept with her lots of times, so very sorry. But before that, she was a man. I was going to sleep with a man, sorry. But it turned out she had a false penis down her trousers. So I slept with her, without the false penis, obviously. Although we did find a way of using it. But never mind that. See, I was just trying to be honest, like the sisters told me. Oh yeah, 2 sisters. I slept with them, both at the same time. Lots of times, I suppose I should mention that.
Oh, dear God!
I know, but at least I didn't sleep with their mother. Although I have actually done that. I suppose you should put that on the list. 2 sisters and a mother, and those nuns. 2 nuns. You might know them. So, all in all, it's been a bit of a time, really, and I've ended up penniless. So, what do you think I should do, Father? Father? Father?
Ointment of mercury applied directly to the chest. Send to the Leech Farm.
Excuse me, but I don't think that's doing him any good.
Bleed him from the groin. It's brain fever. Bottle his spit and feed it back.
No, really, excuse me.
Open the skull.
I don't mean to be rude, but you're making it worse. Just give him water and let him rest.
What would you do, sir? Murder him? Now, keep out of the way.
Suck out the spinal fluid.
I've read about this. I know what I'm talking about. I swear.
Have this man taken out. He's not even qualified. I'm trying to help.
Take out his tongue.
Pliers!
Leave him alone! You are killing this man, and by God, I won't let that happen. Now, get out of this room. Out! If he dies, then you can arrest me. But let me try. There you are. That's it.
Oh.
That's it. Little pause. One more time. Off we go. I can't read you that. It's filthy.
Oh, let me see.
Shame on you. God is watching. I told you he was putting it on.
Oh, says the charlatan.
Look at you back at work.
That's why I wanted to see you, and I want no arguments. Is that understood? But you saved my life, Giacomo.
Oh, my fault in the first place.
No. I'd be cold in the earth if it wasn't for you. I've had the procurator draw this up. The church has been my family all my life. I've had no son to benefit from my estate until I found a son in you. In that deed, there is an allowance and property and a right to inheritance. I suppose it could be in safer hands, but none more deserving.
Sir, your family's been part of the aristocracy for centuries. If I accepted this, I'd become nobility itself. That's too much, sir. I can't take it. Oh, all right, then. I'm rich?
I'm rich! I'm rich! I'm rich! I'm rich! I'm rich!
I'm rich. This isn't just a quick purse of money gone by tomorrow. It's proper. Old, steeped in the land money. And everything I've got is for you.
If you could put that in writing. Really, though, Jack, you're a dangerous man. You could lose money in a gold mine. Don't squander this.
This is tied to the Bragardin family. Their land and their estates. It's forever. So where does that leave us? If you're worried about Grimani, I'll tell him. I'm not scared.
I don't want to fight.
No, but I mean, I'd go to see him in your name.
This has to be done with honor. Grimani said he loved me. He gave me this ring. I should be the one to tell him.
Then you will?
Yeah.
You'll tell him?
Yeah.
That we're engaged?
Yeah.
We're engaged?
Am I going too fast?
Oh, bloody hell. Oh, my lord. Look, I got this. I bought it. I didn't know if you'd want to. Well, I mean, I thought that you might, but, Oh, bollocks! Sorry. Hold on. I found it.
I find myself a son, and next minute, a daughter.
I saw Grimani this morning. A broken man, the poor soul.
Well, his family owns half of Venice. He won't be sad for long.
But you're all driving mad. You're the talk of the town. They've drawn caricatures. Your faces are everywhere. Giacomo and Henriette.
Congratulations, sir. Mum, may I say, it's about bloody time.
You cheeky dog. You know, I don't think I need a manservant anymore, Rocco. You're dismissed.
And as Casanova's wife, I'll need a head of household. Rocco, you're promoted.
Tell me, though, dear lady, what's it like bedding this handsome man? What's he got hidden away? Oh, draw me pictures.
I'm afraid I can't. I wouldn't know. Not till we're married.
Giacomo, a virgin? When did the world turn upside down?
Sorry, but it's true.
What's wrong? Are you ill?
It's the only power a woman has, and I won't give mine away.
But I don't have to wait long. We're getting married next week. Bragardin's conducting the service. Casanova and his bride.
Giacomo Casanova, I arrest you in the name of the Great Council of Venice for offences against the government and church. You are to be confined within the city boundaries until such time as charges can be brought. Such charges being the theft of property from the house of Grimani and the defamation of the Grimani name.
Let me go!
That you did, by your public confession, act as a spy against this state with intent to betray city defences. That you did assault various persons within the families Tosello, Cavamacci, Imer, and Battaglia. That you did fraudulently impersonate various professions with the intent to steal money and cause physical harm. That you did assault and threaten the life of the court physician and defame his name and reputation. That you did impersonate a nobleman with the intent of robbing the house of Bragadin and defrauding the family of its inheritance. And against these charges, my lords, the prosecution demands the maximum sentence to be instituted forthwith.
Guilty.
What did they get you for?
A woman.
How long did you get?
15 years. But don't worry about me, I won't be here long.
Oh, don't tell me. I know. You got friends and contacts and powerful men. They'll have you out by tomorrow.
I have got contacts. I'm the adopted son of a nobleman.
Adopted son? Not true nobility. I bet the judges could smell it. They despise a man for rising above his station. If you're waiting for a pardon, you'll wait a long time.
Then I'll find another way out.
Ah, but that's the genius of this place. We're not locked in a dungeon. No, we're up in the roof. 10 floors up at the top of the ducal palace. If you get past that locked door, then there's another, and then another, and another. 10 floors of them. You'd need to be a magician. Are you a magician?
I can be.
Then magic's failed you. I've been here 12 carnivals and no man's escaped. They tempt us with a carnival every year. You can hear the festivities, the music carries up. It's part of the punishment. Dancing and singing, it all goes on. Hundreds of feet down. All of the city, dancing and singing and forgetting.
Then there was Christina. She used to sleep naked with her uncle, a priest. Well, I mean, I had to put a stop to that, didn't I? Said, you can share my bed.
What did she look like?
Raven black hair, long white neck, tiny waist, magnificent chest.
Oh, yes.
I said, let's both lie here naked. Let's see if we can both lie here and not move in the dark.
Oh, yes.
I looked at her, reached out towards her, and not with my hand.
Oh, my God.
Touched her, pressed up against her.
Faster, faster.
To be continued?
You can't stop there.
Any good?
Read it before. In French and Latin, I've had time to read them all. What about Henriette? Any word?
Well, I'm not sure. There's a story going around, but... Hey, Bragadin's given me a job running the stables. He's a nice bloke.
Don't let him down. What story?
It's more than just a story, sir. It's... Sunday night. This Sunday coming. And it's not her fault, mind. There was nothing else she could do. Henriette was with you, sir. She was engaged to the city's most infamous criminal. She was disgraced. She's been an outcast for months now. She didn't have any choice. She's getting married, sir. Sunday night. To Grimani.
You don't have to call me sir anymore.
I don't even think he wants her, the bastard. It's just his revenge against you.
She'll be rich.
That's not it. I swear to God, sir, she doesn't want him. But Grimani, he's done everything. He's summoned her sisters, he's set them up with rooms and clothes. It's like he's bought her outright.
To hell with her sister. She doesn't have to marry. She can just run.
Well, you could do that, sir. A man could do it easily, yeah. But for a woman, it's the convent or the whorehouse.
You sound like her. You've seen her. What did she say? Did she ask about me? What did she say?
She can't visit you, sir. She's disgraced enough.
Tell me what she said.
She came to the lodgings, sir. She was distraught, sir. I was just cleaning out your room, and she arrived. Didn't say a word, just... She took off her engagement ring. She took the diamond, and she used it. She scratched on the window. And she left you a message.
What did it say? Is that what she thinks? That I'll just forget?
No, sir. It's an instruction.
You can go.
It's not over, though. You'll win that appeal, you will in the end. Get out there, steal her back.
I can't. Once she's married, that's it. Grimani now owns her entire family. She would never sacrifice that. She's gone. I said you can go.
Leave me alone! I can get you out. This is my home. Do what you like then. Tell them I had better things to do.
What if there's no way down?
I'll find it.
And then what? You can't stay in the city. You'll be a fugitive. You'll be exiled from Venice for the rest of your life.
I'll come back.
You'll never see this place again. And what then? Lost abroad with no money, no title, no position, and they'll hunt you down. They'll never forget. You'll never stop running. You'll still be a prisoner wherever you go. Is it worth it, magician? Is it worth it?
Henriette, did you see her again?
She found me. And I suppose led me to an even greater love.
Who is that? You've got to tell me the rest. I'm not giving up now. Henriette Grimani. I remember my father reading out her name one last time. When Napoleon's troops stood at the gates of Venice and the council met and surrendered. They say as the city was dissolved after 1,000 years, the widows were lamenting. And Henriette was there. It was just a mention, but she was one of them. It was always the ladies. My father always picked out their names. I think you'd have liked him. Sir? What?
That was last year. The dissolution of Venice was last year.
Yes?
Last year.
That's right, sir. May the 12th. Oh, my God. You didn't know? Henriette's alive, sir. She's still alive. And she's a widow. Grimani's dead. She's out there, sir. She's still out there.